tere tulemast vaatama PÖFF TV-d. Minuga koos on siin põhjusega mässajad programmi žürii liige Ilkka Matila. Hello Ilkka. How are you? Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Now you have been the member of the jury before here in PÖFF, and
Yes, that's true.
The audiences have also seen your productions here at PÖFF. So do you prefer to be in the role of a producer here or a juror? Which one is easier for you?
I love to be in the jury because this is the time for me also try to get some new ideas and to renew my own working methods. And when they contacted me from the festival and asked if I'm interested in being a juror, so I was a bit hesitant because it takes a lot of time, and most of the films people who visit the festivals have seen already or are familiar with. But then the category Rebels with a Cause, it's about experimental films, and experimenting is something that we really don't have the time and the resources of doing it often enough. So for me, I thought that I'm taking this as a kind of film school type of a moment, kind of further educational week. So I'm really looking forward to this.
A lot of Estonians have seen films that are produced by you. For example, 1944 or the class
Marble.
Yes, the class reunion, I believe.
Yes, I've been working closely with my dear friend Christian Taska, and we've been lucky to have great Estonian directors and scriptwriters and other filmmakers, and the films that we produced during those years, they've been, I would say, quite popular. Also, my productions in Finland, they have often been shown in Estonia. Igitie was also quite popular, and for me, working in Estonia is quite natural. I consider Estonia as part of my home territory, more or less.
And I wanted to ask that a lot of people have seen the films that you have produced, but they maybe don't know so much about you. So what are some of your other interests?
My other interests?
Yes.
Well, my other interest, I have a family, I have 4 children, and I love animals. We have 3 dogs, and I like horses. I go horse riding, and I like nature anyway, and I love different cultures and traveling. But I love good food, good wine, good life anyway.
That's great.
Yeah.
What have been some of the most special producing experiences for you, or do you have any films that are really close to your heart?
Well, films close to my heart. So I think every film I'm working on right now is the one which is closest to my heart. And for the time being, I'm working on a drama series, which is co-production with Estonia. It's called All the Sins. Season 1 just was awarded with the Nordic Film and TV Fund's award for the best Nordic drama series of the year in Gothenburg. And now we are, actually 2 days ago, we got 6 nominations to Golden Venla, which is the Finnish TV award. And we are just about to get into the season 2 with that series. But when it comes to feature films, I think films such as Mother of Mine by Klaus Härö, which I produced 2006, I think, that that is probably the film I think we kind of succeeded in all fields in the way that we were hoping for, and that is often a kind of film I like to look back as a film that it is good. Of course, then my co-productions, I think 1944 has the same qualities. It somehow turned out to be the film we were originally also working on, what we were hoping it to be. In most productions, you set the level here and then you meet somewhere here. But in those two rare cases, I would say that we met that level that we were aiming to.
Rebels with a Cause is a very interesting program. So what are these characteristics or aspects that make a film suitable for the Rebels program? So how does the film have to be different?
Well, this category has, I mean, first of all, the films have to have some sort of a new and innovative angle, either in storytelling or in visuals or in production probably. The second thing is that they are independent productions. They're productions that are mainly made without, for example, TV broadcasters commissioning or kind of very strong financial from the private, distribution part financing. So but for us, we just had our very first jury meeting, and we are about to draw our own guidelines for the films that the festival has chosen. We haven't chosen the film, so we are quite sort of new to just watch them and then we make our decisions. But of course, the idea that this category is more or less the research and development center of our industry. So it means that the films that are chosen there should also be something that you haven't seen anywhere else because of the style and the way they are made.
So is it important to you that the film is stylistically or technically pushing the boundaries, or is it enough if the message is rebellious?
Both, I think, are as good. I mean, I'm personally more interested in the innovative storytelling. If even by very conservative, traditional methods, you can tell a story that works really well, but has some sort of a structure that I haven't seen before. That'd be exciting. The technical experiments or technical kind of ways of telling the story are quite a dangerous part, because they actually are only to serve the story in my world. You don't make a film because of the visuals and because of the kind of setting, but because of the story. So therefore, in my opinion, so the emphasis should be on the story, and then secondly on the visuals. But both are, of course, important.
Have you noticed any tendencies or trends that are specific to this year's films?
Well, I have only seen 2 films so far, so I think it's a too narrow sample of all the films
But
available.
what are your expectations? Do you have any
Of course,
expectations?
what I have read in the catalog and understood of the festival management that the tendency is, of course, well, I'm trying to think if it differs from the previous years, but I think, well, one thing that differs, I think they are not as dark as I'm used to, because this festival has often had a kind of reputation of being not only the Black Night Film Festival, but also a film festival of very sort of dark and depressive films. What I personally now have thought when I was reading the descriptions of different films in the catalog that these are not as kind of depressive as before. So maybe, other people, the management of the festival, getting sort of more optimistic or positive about the world, or is the world, are the films becoming more positive? I don't know, but it looks good.
Do you have a certain criteria for evaluating films? Or can you describe your process of
we are
judging?
just about to. That was the meeting we were just having to draw our guidelines for, as a jury. So I cannot.
But based on previous years.
For the previous years, yeah. Well, I actually for this year, this is already the second time I'm in the jury. I just in July was in Kaliningrad, and then I was in the jury in that festival, and if I think about the guidelines or what we are aiming to as a jury, so it always depends on the whole setup of films, because we don't exactly know all, what are all the 10 or 12 films we have to watch this year. So sometimes the film that gets, or we grant the award to, so it's not well, it's difficult to use a word good or better or best, because this is not a sports contest. Many people kind of mix film festivals, especially festivals with awards, with sports contests, that one film is kind of, I don't know, stronger or faster or better or worse than another. We cannot work in that way. So therefore, once when you have seen all the films, you can kind of see the ones who sort of stand out from the crowd, and therefore that question is a bit difficult to answer before having seen all of them. Mm-hmm. We just were having a discussion about the first one we saw, and it's we just point out the thoughts we have had, but it doesn't matter that this film is kind of our potential award candidate or not. It just and it can be, even though we wouldn't have liked it that much, it doesn't still mean that it has lost the contest because we haven't seen the others yet. Does that more or less answer your question? I hope so. It's a long answer, but it's vague. But that's how the jury work is. It's vague.
Yeah. So it depends on the year and on the film.
It depends on the year, and it depends on the selection completely.
Of course.
And of course, in the end, we are just serving the festival management. The ones who have chosen and selected those films to the festival, they carry also the responsibility of the quality of that. So we are just serving them.
Do you think that Estonian films should be more experimental or more rebellious?
The number of films made in Estonia is quite small. So if you want to at the same time serve the general audience, offer them the films that they are pleased to see, and have the experimental films. So it's a tricky thing, because then the number of the films should be bigger. Of course, I'm always hoping for, also in my own work, that we could improve our work and somehow renew the methods how we are working and develop our style, because that is the only way of sort of keeping the audience interested in our work. And that same applies to all filmmakers all over in the world. But this is an industry where every single filmmaker is an artisan, and if you don't learn your craft by doing, and if you don't do enough, so you cannot improve it. So the number of films and the work opportunities for filmmakers in the end also lead to the professionality of it. And then once you are a professional, once you master your trade, you can also start improvising. It's the same as in music or all other forms of art. But this is of course a bit more complicated, it's more expensive and so, but then more films, more filmmaking and filmmakers, and then the experiments have more room there.
You have visited also other festivals, I think, as you mentioned before. So what differentiates PÖFF from other film festivals? What makes PÖFF special?
Well, it's right here. I live in Helsinki, so now
it's near too.
Now, of course, it's very well organized for the festival. Tallinn as a city has the right size. It's not too big and not too small, so it's quite sort of effective, and it's of course it's practical to be here. It has a clear line. The management has kind of followed very logically its own line and style, and every year I see more and more industry people from the industry attending the festival, and also the kind of professional side of the festival is growing. So it's not only that the management has succeeded in creating a festival that pleases the audience and pleases the film buffs, but also attracts the professionals of the industry. So this whole package is unique, and in my own work, so I attend, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 festivals a year, probably once a month. So Tallinn is probably among the 3-4 most important ones. If I list the most important, it's Cannes, Berlin, then I would say either Gothenburg or Tallinn are, for my work, the third most important ones.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, but it's clear. I mean, and that is also thanks to Tina and Dagmar and the whole their team who've been able to create such a successful festival.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for this interview, and
thank you, Hanna.
I wish you a pleasant stay here in Tallinn, and good luck for your work as a juror.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I always have a pleasant stay in Tallinn. I love this city. It's so cool.
Thank you.
And what's more is that, of course, during all the years I've been coming here, so I'm so excited to see how fast and kind of dynamic this city is developing and all the new things taking place here. So as many other Finns say in Helsinki, so we always, if you want to sort of learn something new or really get some new impulses, we have to go to Estonia, we have to go to Tallinn to see what the things are, what the Estonians are doing now.
That's great.
So this is
Thank you very much, Ilkka.
Thank you.
Meie rääkisime siin võistlusprogrammi Põhjusega mässajad žürii liikme produtsendi Ilkka Matilaga. Järgmise korrani!